Death toll in Niger State flood rises to above 100. And bad governance protests set for June 12 over Tinubu's economic policies. INEC swears in 6 new regs, announces Ekiti and Osun election dates. And on the foreign scene, 6 killed as RSF drone strike hits Sudanese hospital in North Kordofan. Good evening and welcome to News Hour on Trust TV. I am Fatima Ahmed Musa. Now the news. The death toll from Wednesday night's flash floods in Mokwa, Niger State has surged past 100, with emergency officials warning the figure could rise even further as recovery efforts continue. Torrential rains unleashed devastating floods that swept through communities, destroying homes and sweeping residents into the River Niger. Rescue team have so far retrieved at least 115 bodies, while dozens remain missing. Others, like fisherman Danjuma Shaba, now sleeping through rough, having lost their homes. Meanwhile, children play in contaminated water. Rising fear of disease outbreaks. Experts have long warned about Nigeria's vulnerability to climate shocks, and the situation in Niger is a grim reminder. Poor drainage system, housing along flood plains, and blocked waterways continue to exacerbate the impact. The Nigerian Meteorological Agency had earlier issued flood warnings across 15 states, including Niger. With the rainy season still at its early stage, authorities and humanitarian groups brace for more emergencies. In 2024 alone, floods killed over 1,200 Nigerians and displaced more than 1 million, making it one of the worst flood seasons in recent memory. And now joining us via phone from Niger is our Daily Trust reporter, Abubakar Akoti, to give us an update. Good evening, Akoti.
Good evening.
So tell us, the death toll is over 100. Is the rescue operation still ongoing, and what are the challenges on the ground?
Currently, the death toll, according to Niger State Emergency, is 115. And over 300 houses have been submerged, displacing over thousands of residents. Although the agency said they are still compiling the reports to know the exact number of more victims that will be recovered, because this figure was compiled as at 5 p.m. today, Friday. And more people are still missing. So the search and rescue operation is ongoing to recover more people, more bodies.
Okay, so what is the government saying concerning immediate arrangements for those displaced?
The government has pledged to take care of those that have been displaced. Currently, they are being camped in public primary schools in Mokwa. Considered to be safe, and today the deputy governor represented the governor in Mokwa, where he consult the victims and assure that government will not leave them alone in this trying moment.
Okay, so we know that the situation is very, sad. How are the families coping for those that lost their loved ones during this flood?
The families that have lost their loved ones are still grieving, and people that have not even found their ones have been devastated. Like local government chairman told me that many of them are going through trauma now, requiring emergency medical attention, and he solicited that one area that government will pay attention to is to psychological impact of this flooding on the victims, especially whose families have died. There's a woman who lost 4 of her children. She will narrowly escape the disaster too. The family lost 13 out of 15 members of the family. So all these families have been traumatized. The survivors have been traumatized. And the council chairman has said that government needs to pay attention to people that are suffering trauma so that it doesn't worsen their condition.
All right, thank you so much for your update and contribution this evening.
Thank you.
Now, as economic pressure mounts on ordinary Nigerians, frustration is boiling over. The End Bad Governance movement has announced a nationwide protest scheduled for 12 June aimed at confronting what it calls as the anti-people policy of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu's administration. The protest, set to coincide with Nigeria's Democracy Day, is already gaining momentum online and on the streets, with organizers calling for urgent reforms and a reversal of policies they say are suffocating the masses. The report.
2 years into President Tinubu's tenure, the promise of renewed hope is fading fast for many Nigerians. Instead of relief, the removal of fuel subsidies and floating of the naira have triggered an economic storm, soaring transport fares, skyrocketing food prices, and shrinking household incomes. For millions of families, it's no longer just about policy, it's about survival. Now, citizens are organizing. The End Bad Governance movement, a coalition of youth groups, workers, and civic voices, is calling on Nigerians to hit the streets on June 12th, using the symbolism of Democracy Day to demand economic justice and responsive governance. At a press conference in Lagos, organizers decried the daily hardship endured by ordinary people, from market women to students and unemployed graduates.
Under Tinubu, we have to say that Nigerians are living more or less like enslaved citizens. All the constitutional guaranteed rights and freedoms that in the past inspired struggles against military rule and for democracy have now been completely taken away by the Tinubu administration. The civic space has shrunken to the point that Nigerians can no longer breathe. The right of freedom of expression, assembly, and association are routinely under attack. Several activists, bloggers, and journalists are being harassed, attacked, arrested, and prosecuted for simply exercising freedom of speech.
Put ourselves in the shoe of the masses. People are not happy. Looking at the minimum wage, looking at the hospital, our insecurity. I know of a family that lost the father and the mother in Abuja, that a lot of amounts were paid, and at the end of the day, this couple died. Is a call to everybody. It can be anybody. Failure to adjust, nobody knows who it is going to be the next one.
The language these people understand, especially the government, is protest. But as far as I'm concerned, I will plead with the masses. They should just put away the fears in them. On that very day, June 12, we should come out en masse. Let's show our grievances. We shouldn't allow this government to subject all of us into unnecessary hardship. The poverty is just too much, and we can't continue like this.
As June 12th draws near, the streets may once again become a platform for expression. But this time, the cry isn't just about governance. It's about the daily pain of citizens trying to survive a system they believe is failing them. For many, this protest isn't just a demand, it's a lifeline.
As insecurity escalates across Nigeria, the dual threats of rising displacement and disrupted farming pushing the country towards a humanitarian crisis. Millions of IDPs remain exposed in unsafe camps, while persistent attacks on farmlands in states like Benue, Zamfara, and Kaduna are crippling food production. Experts warn that without swift intervention, the deepening crisis could trigger widespread hunger and prolonged instability. Abubakar Abdullahi Galadima has more.
With over 3.2 million people displaced by conflict, according to the United Nations, Nigeria's internal displacement crisis is worsening, especially across northeast and northwest regions, where insurgency and armed bandits continue to uproot families. States like Borno, Zamfara, Katsina, Benue, and Niger have been hardest hit. Many IDP camps in these areas face overcrowding, food shortage, and lack of basic protection. Security expert Sana Aliyu says the absence of strong security architecture around these camps leaves them open to exploitation by non-state actors, turning vulnerable citizens into soft targets or face recruits by terrorist networks.
We have a lot of IDP centers here and there, but unfortunately, they are not being properly taken care of at the IDPs. And again, there is a lot of encroachment, infiltration into the IDPs by the terrorist groups. So there is the need for specialized eyes again to ensuring that the people in the IDPs are properly profiled and a lot of resources given to them. And that's why we are calling on the Minister of Humanitarian to step in.
Aliyu recommends the creation of dedicated counter-terrorism task force tailored for rural communities, focused on early threat detection and rapid grassroots intervention. He insists that waiting for attacks to occur before responding only prolongs the cycle of violence.
The government need to be proactive on time to create a counter-terrorism organization that will be given that full mandate to engage terrorism everywhere, and that will make sure they checkmate activities in the various townships they are having and villages, so that when they are having unrest in the forest, they don't have a rest place, a respite in the forest, they intend to come back to town. The counter-terrorism agency that will be created will be the one to engage them and not allow them to come to town.
Activist John Ogullela says the consequences extend far beyond security. In regions like Plateau, Kaduna and Taraba, farmers are abandoning their fields due to fears of attacks, fueling a production crisis that is pushing millions toward hunger. The National Bureau of Statistics reports that over 26 million Nigerians are currently food insecure, with prices of staple food like rice, maize and beans having nearly tripled in the past 18 months.
Thousands of hectares of land forsaken by farmers because of insecurity. That's a terrible thing. And of course, when there is no farmer on the farm, there is not going to be a crop, there's not going to be yield, and there's not going to be a supply of food to the market. And where there is no supply and demand is constant, you're going to have the prices flying.
Ogullela argues that agricultural initiatives by the Tinubu administration cannot succeed in a climate of fear where farmers are more concerned with survival than harvest. Together, both experts underscore the need for a dual prolonged strategy, one that simultaneously enhances security in rural zones and ensures stable food supply lines. As Nigeria battles on multiple fronts, they warn that failure to act now will tip vulnerable communities into deeper chaos. Abubakar Abdullahi Galadima, Trust TV News, Abuja.
The Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, has officially sworn in 6 resident electoral commissioners to fill in existing vacancies across Nigeria. The move was described by INEC Chairman Professor Mahmoud Yakubu as a critical step towards strengthening the country's electoral process. The report.
The newly sworn-in recs include 2 returning appointees, Johnson Alalibo Sinikem and Mukhtar Umar Gajiram, who are beginning a second term, and 4 new recs, Saad Umar Idris and Feyijimi Sashiye Ibiyemi, both former INEC staff, Chukwemeka Christopher Ebeziako, a legal practitioner, and Umar Yusuf Garba, an experienced private sector administrator. The ceremony took place on Friday at the INEC conference room in Abuja and was attended by key officials. In his remarks, Professor Yakubu welcomed the new appointees, noting that their deployment completes the Commission's staffing in all 36 states and the Federal Capital Territory FCT. He emphasized the significance of their roles, describing the conduct of elections as not only a major responsibility, but a sacred duty. INEC boss reminded the new recs of the need to operate within the confines of the law, uphold their oath, and engage constructively with stakeholders while maintaining transparency and professionalism.
All 6 of you have cumulative experience in election administration or the management of public affairs to justify the confidence reposed in you to serve in the high office of a resident electoral commissioner. As you assume duty or as you resume duty today, I urge you to focus on your responsibilities. Let me make it clear from the outset that you must at all times be guided by the electoral legal framework, the code of conduct for resident electoral commissioners, as well as the regulations and guidelines governing the commission's operations.
Professor Yakubu further announced the deployment of the new regs within their respective geopolitical zones, excluding their state of origin as part of INEC's policy to enhance neutrality and reduce conflict of interest. The occasion also saw the announcement of the timetable for the upcoming governorship elections in Ekiti and Osun State. The Ekiti election is scheduled for June 20th, 2026, with party primaries running from October 20th to November 10th, 2025. The Osun election will follow on August 8, 2026, with primaries between November 24 and December 15, 2025.
For Ekiti State, the election will be held on Saturday, 20th July 2026. However, party primaries will start on 20th October 2025 and end on 10th November 2025. In the case of Osun State, the election will be held on Saturday, 8th August 2026. Party primaries will start on 24th November 2025 and end on 15th December 2025.
Speaking on behalf of the newly sworn-in regs, Saad Umar Idris delivered a heartfelt vote of thanks, expressing deep gratitude for the trust placed in them.
I therefore, Honorable Chairman, sir, wish to assure you and the entire Commission, and indeed the Nigerian people, that the values and objectives of the Independent National Electoral Commission will be highly be our guiding principle. We pledge, sir, to discharge our duties with utmost integrity, impartiality, and professionalism.
The event also served as a sound moment of reflection as Professor Yakubu led attendees in observing a minute of silent prayer in memory of late retired Major General Abubakar Modibo Alkali, a former commissioner who passed away in April.
The Court of Appeal has reversed the judgment by a federal high court in Kano, voiding the composition of the Kano State Independent Electoral Commission, KASEC, and the local government election it conducted in October 2024. In an anonymous judgment on Friday, a three-member panel presided over by Justice Obiolbele Abraham Georgeville held that the federal high court lacks the jurisdiction to entertain cases bordering on the composition of states' electoral bodies and qualifications of members of such bodies. The Court of Appeal allowed the three-panel appeals filed by the Kano State Attorney General, the Kano State House of Assembly, and KASEC, and struck out the suit filed before the Federal High Court for want of jurisdiction. It said the proper court with the required jurisdiction is the High Court of Kano State. A coalition of civil society organizations, the Joint Action Forum JAF, has revealed that the organization intends to become a viable opposition political party in the near future, while it considers as a short-term measure taking back the structure of the Labour Party from the current crop of money-bagged politicians who have hijacked the party from workers. The forum is of the view that the structure and leadership of the party have been hijacked by money-bagged politicians who are using the party as a vehicle to achieve their personal interests and aspirations rather than the collective interests of the people. The report.
Addressing journalists at a press conference convened by the Oyo State chapter of the Joint Action Forum held at the Secretariat of the Economic Staff Union of Universities, ASU University of Ibadan, to x-ray the 2 years of President Bola Tinubu administration, its state coordinator, Professor Ademola Aremu, emphasized the Labour Party was registered by the Nigerian Labour Congress to champion the goals of workers through good governance and should not be left in the hands of money bags.
We are asking for immediate reversal of pump price of petroleum products and transparent and democratic control of the sector by elected representatives of the working people in ensuring it serves public interest, not private profiteers. 2, re-regulation of the foreign exchange market to protect the national economy from speculative attacks and safeguard workers' livelihoods. 3, provision of free, quality and publicly funded education, healthcare and other essential services.
Also speaking, Joint Action Forum Secretary Comrade Abiodun Bamboyi stated that the Labour Party should have protested against the fuel subsidy removal on employment because of its effect on the vast majority of the Nigerian workers. According to him, the party failed in this regard because it has been pocketed by billionaires who are only using it as electoral vehicle.
An opposition can never be on the basis of privatization. That way that will move Nigeria forward can never be on the basis of deregulation. That way that will move Nigeria forward can never be on the basis of commercialization of social services. The only way through which Nigeria can move forward is when we have a government that agrees that our collective resources has to be invested in the life of the people.
Joint Action Forum also demanded immediate reversal of pump price of petroleum products and allow democratic control of the sector by elected representatives of the working people and ensuring it serves public interests, not private profiteers.
Security forces comprising operatives of the Department of State Service (DSS) and the military have killed several terrorists loyal to notorious kingpin Dogo Gide and Leyi in a major operation in Niger State. The joint operation, launched on Tuesday in response to an attack on Chibani village in Munya local government area, lasted more than 15 hours. The terrorists had earlier killed a resident, Ayuba Isa, and injured a police officer and another civilian, prompting a swift response from security operatives. Sources within the security agencies said a large number of the slain terrorists were loyal to Dogo Gide and Leyi. During the operation, Russell cattle were seen crossing the Kusasu River in Galadima Kogo district, heading towards the Brisudna Kwaki axis, believed to be a major hideout for the group. DSS operatives and soldiers have reportedly contacted the Nigerian Air Force for aerial support to target fleeing militants. Now, Borno State Governor Professor Babagana Umara Zulum has promised to provide scholarship for children of the slain civilian Joint Task Force members that lost their lives along Dikwa Marte Road. 8 members of the force were tragically killed in an improvised explosive device (IED) attack along the road on Tuesday. The governor also announced an immediate assistance of 5 million to each of the bereaved families to cater for their basic needs. Zulum made the announcement on Tuesday during a condolence visit to families of the fallen heroes in Fezan ward of the metropolis. He described the victims as martyrs who made ultimate sacrifice in defense of their communities, assuring that their bravery will never be forgotten. Taraba State Governor Kefas Agbo has revealed that his sister, Asi Kefas, was mistakenly shot and killed by a police escort and not bandits while traveling from Jalingo to Abuja along Wukari Chinkai Road in early 2024. Speaking in Jalingo, Kefas said investigations confirmed the officer attached to his mother's security details shot Atsi at close range, and gun pellets were later found in her body. Previously believed to be a victim of bandit attack, her death had stirred controversy across the state. The governor also observed a minute of silence in her memory and for over 50 victims recently killed in Karim Lamido local government, where while calling for peace and unity among communities. He announced plans to set up a commission of inquiry to address the ongoing violence in Karim Lamido and stressed the need for justice and reconciliation. Finnish politician and Biafra separatist activist Simon Ekpa has appeared before the Päijät-Häme District Court on Friday as Finland opened his terrorism trial. Ekpa was arrested in November 2024 on suspicion of inciting violence and financing terrorism. Finnish prosecutors accuse him of using social media to promote unrest in Nigeria's southeast region, where he leads a pro-Biafra movement. Authorities are seeking a 6-year prison sentence, arguing that his actions may qualify as terrorism under Finnish law. Ekpan has denied the allegations, including claims of weapons procurement for separatist group. And the Nigerian Immigration Service has handed over high-profile suspected ritualist named Obi Levi Obieze to Lagos State Police Command. The suspect was earlier declared wanted by the Nigerian Police Force over his alleged involvement in kidnapping and ritual killing of a 13-year-old teenager in Enugu State. To report.
The victim was reportedly abducted by 3 unidentified men while walking with her father to their farm. Following intense surveillance and intelligence sharing, one of the suspects, identified as Levi Obuonyeka, was intercepted and arrested by operatives of the Nigerian Immigration Service at the Baji checkpoint along the Badagry-Seme border corridor, while reportedly trying to escape from the country on a motorcycle. Acting Zonal Coordinator of Immigration Zone A, David Adebambo, confirmed the arrest. He stated that the suspect has been handed over to the Nigerian Police Force for further investigation and possible prosecution.
The suspect, a native of Umuojo village in Iziagu community in Enugu State, is wanted by the Police Enugu State Command for alleged involvement in the abduction of a 13-year-old girl and ritual killings. He was identified via a National Identity Management Commission card slip that was found on him, and he has made self-incriminating statement during profiling. The suspect is now being handed over to the Nigerian Police Force for further investigation and prosecution, along with the suspect, the photograph, copy of NIMC enrollment slip, Money Point ATM card, 2 cell phones, 2 cell phone, Techno and Techno Camon 16 and iPhone 13. There is a 70,000 naira cash that was found on him, and the media reference for ease of reference. The Consular Nigerian Immigration Service, Keminana Nanda, PCC, MMIS, FSMN remain committed to supporting interagency collaboration for synergy in line with the service mission to strengthen internal security and prosperity of Nigeria through proactive, effective, and efficient border security and migration management.
I'm very sure the Enugu State Police Command will take it over from here and will properly keep the media informed of the outcome of the investigation. For every Nigerian, we are human being before whatever that we become. There's a dignity of one person, and the suspect is presumed to be innocent until is proven guilty in court, and appropriate punishment is meted out to such a suspect. So I want to assure you that investigation, which has already started with this suspect now, will be concluded, and the members of the public will get to know the outcome of the investigation.
The Commissioner of Police, Olohudare Jimoh Moshood, called on all residents to report any suspicious activity within their neighborhoods to the appropriate authorities.
The House of Representatives has pledged to investigate the immediate and underlying causes of the midnight conduct of the West African Senior School Certificate Examination (WAEC) in parts of the country. Chairman of the House of Committee on Basic Examination Bodies, Obokun Ofoji, made this known during a session with officials of the West African Examination Council (WAEC) at the National Assembly. He emphasized that the parents deserve a clear explanation as to why the safety of their children was compromised. The committee had earlier summoned WAEC's leadership to account for what it described as alarming irregularities in the conduct of the ongoing examinations. During the hearing, Ofoji offered an apology to Nigerian parents and the general public for the disturbing incidents, notably the reports of exams being conducted around midnight in certain locations. Representing WAEC at the hearing, Senior Assistant Registrar and Zonal Coordinator Ambrose Okelezo informed the committee that the head of WAEC Nigeria was unable to attend due to an emergency meeting with the registrar and heads of other national offices. Okelezo appealed for the session to be rescheduled to Monday, allowing the WAEC head to appear in person and address the concerns raised. The motion was unanimously adopted and resolved to reconvene on Monday, June 2nd, 2025 at 2 p.m.
Parents and Nigerians need to know why their children's lives were endangered. It is expected that WAEC as a body live up to its responsibility of organizing these examinations with high standard, diligence, and proper duty of care. There must not be an excuse. After all, monies were being appropriated for the conduct of the examination by Parliament.
He's not competent to speak to us, he's not competent to speak to us. Because there are a myriad of issues ranging from the fact that people in my village where government has never remembered, there is no house in my village that has electricity, had to write exams up to 12 a.m., 1 a.m., and they were calling me from the village, to the issues that your logistics failed. You will leave your question papers in Keke, commercial driver, and you'll be using it to carry passengers from Rumokuta to Rumola. You have failed. I don't know why a country of over 200 million Nigerians, government cannot have competent hands to handle simple issues at the I don't know where they got this incompetence from.
The Minister of the Federal Capital Territory, Nyesom Wike, has criticized the National Assembly Committee on Area Councils for its failure to resolve the ongoing strike by primary school teachers in the FCT. Wike stated this on Thursday during an inspection tour of ongoing construction projects across the territory. Despite what he described as several interventions from his office, the minister blamed the National Assembly Committee responsible for overseeing the area councils, accusing it of not doing enough to end the prolonged industrial action. Speaking shortly after inspecting infrastructure projects within the capital, Wike reminded the lawmakers that the National Assembly serves as the legislature for the FCT and is constitutionally mandated to provide oversight on the activities of the area councils, which are democratically elected. Wike, however, emphasized that efforts are ongoing to address the situation, reiterating that education remains a critical driver of national development.
Well, we can be assured that everything is being done to see that the teachers go back. But you see, the problem we have, just like what you said, we have committees of the FCT, the House of Reps, and the Senate. We have chairman of them, of the area councils. The chairman of committees of area councils, their responsibility is to oversee what the area councils are doing, because the legislature of the FCT today is National Assembly. That's what the chairman of House Committee of the National Assembly has to look at the problem in the area councils.
Advocates for adolescent girls' sanitation and hygiene have called on all tiers of government to prioritize water, sanitation and hygiene wash services in primary and secondary schools as a key strategy to enhance girls' education in Nigeria. They made the call at an event in Bauchi State to commemorate the World Menstrual Hygiene Day 2025. Trust TV's Adamu Imam has more.
Is gathered at the Government Day Secondary School Bayara in Bauchi to receive crucial information on how to manage their menstrual period, both at home and in public places. Caregivers and advocates use the occasion to challenge both state and local education authorities to integrate sanitation and hygiene education into the school's curriculum to improve the overall well-being and academic performance of female students.
People in the higher authorities is that to help us create a friendly period world, I want them to please add sanitary kits in the school curriculums.
One of the value addition we do in this particular engagement is to teach these young women how to also make menstrual pads that are reusable. You know, in the market now we have non-reusable menstrual pads that you just use once and that's all. But now we want to see how, as a way of fighting against the economic downtime we are facing in Nigeria or in the country at large, we teach them how to make reusable menstrual pads.
As part of the campaign, both girls and boys were sensitized on the importance of maintaining proper hygiene practices. Meanwhile, the school's Parent-Teachers Association and student health clubs were also reactivated to reinforce the message.
Seeing your menses is not a disease. Seeing your menses is not an illness. It's not a stigma. Every woman is expected to see her menstrual cycle. So they encourage them to come and collect the sanitary pads.
The truth is that it's not sufficient for us. But the effort we are doing now is to engage the Parent-Teachers Association to reconstruct those toilets and see how we can have it, put in place, put in order.
If you want to do periods, you can bring this thing that they give us to bring it to school if you still want to pour.
They taught us to use sanitary pads. We learned that at all time, before, during, and after our menstrual cycle, we should maintain proper hygiene. If we are using a reusable pad, we can wash it with hot water and salt, then dry it in a clean place.
They emphasize that menstruation is a natural biological process that plays a critical role in a woman's reproductive health and fertility. Participants also stress the importance of ending stigma associated with menstruation through collective effort and open dialogue. Adamu Imam, Trust TV News, Bauchi.
2 years into the Tinubu's administration, questions continue to mount over who truly shapes the policies affecting over 200 million Nigerians. While the government touts reforms as necessary for economic stability, many citizens say the policies appear tailored for the elites, leaving the masses to bear the brunt of hardship. Trust TV's Abdulaziz Ibrahim examines how growing public discontent is fueling a widening discontent between policies and the people.
Across the country, a common sentiment is taking root. Governance at the federal level feels increasingly distant, if not outright elitist. From the removal of fuel subsidies to the floating of the naira and border closures, decisions made in boardrooms and policy circles have hit homes, markets, and commuters hard, sending prices soaring and deepening poverty. For many, the question is no longer what policies are being made, but for whom.
No leader can bring a policy that is only targeted for the elite. Implementation is the problem. In the process of implementation, I realize that the elite
across the country,
They are not closing the border because they want to improve what is in here. Because there is nothing, if you look in, there are no structures that have been put in place to checkmate or to provide the alternative of what you are blocking the borders for. You are not making cars and you're blocking the borders for importation of cars. What are you doing? You are increasing the cost of transportation for who? It's for Isiaku.
As Nigeria edges closer to the 2027 elections, a growing wave of pressure groups and advocacy platforms are emerging, trying to influence public discourse and political direction. Political scientist Ibrahim Badaru says elites have long dominated this space, using media and influence to shape narratives that often ignore grassroots struggles.
The Nigerian elite benefit from this so-called free system. And because they benefit from this free system, they have always wanted to perpetuate it so that it continue to benefit them at the expense of the masses. And that is why, as part of the solutions to the current scenario, is the issue of political education.
Economic analyst Abdurazak Ibrahim believes a disconnect persists between what the data says and what ordinary Nigerians experience daily.
They started by rebasing the data for inflation from using 2009 as reference period to 2024. So by so doing, the statistical rates of the inflation fall from around 34% to around 24%. That does not mean relief or economic relief or price relief in the country. It's just a methodological shift. They changed the methodology of computing the inflation, but it is not solving our problem. They also rebased the data for unemployment. They started with the unemployment. Previously, unemployment in Nigeria is when somebody do not work for 20 hours in 2 weeks. In a week, sorry, he is recorded as unemployed. Today, in the new methodology, if you work for 1 hour within the last 2 weeks, you are employed.
It's a chess game, critics say, one played far above the heads of those who skip meals just to afford transport money.
What the masses are supposed to do is to have themselves available and understand the political dynamics, and as well as observe what is happening in the political space. And it is in this situation that a meaningful change can be made. Except the elite understand that the masses are not aware of the atrocities they are doing. They will not want to relinquish themselves from this power. And that is why even the electoral system is perverted in such a way that it disconnects the masses. The reality on ground is different from what you see. And that is why even the issue of voters turnout, you cannot continue to force people to that until when we are trying to make law that people must come out and vote. I think there's a disconnect there. You have to make available the evidence of democracy, and that is the only way people can participate in this electoral process.
As Nigeria's democracy matures, observers argue it must become more inclusive, not just in rhetoric, but in real policy making. The loudest voices shouldn't always come from the corridors of power, but also from the communities they claim to serve. Only then, they say, can reforms be truly for the people, not just about them. Abdulaziz Ibrahim, Trust TV News.
Governor Amadou Fintri of Adamawa State is celebrating his 6th anniversary at the helm with the official groundbreaking of an ultra-modern international conference and event center at the state secretariat in Yola. The contract, valued at 18.972 billion, is expected to drive a state-of-the-art facility designed to serve as a hub for investors, boost internally generated revenue, and create employment opportunities across Adamawa State. Trust TV's Gibson Swadigo reports.
Governor Fintri officially performed the groundbreaking ceremony for the project, marking a key milestone in his administration's efforts to reposition the state as an economic investment destination. Speaking at the event, Governor Fintri described the initiative as a strategic economic investment. He emphasized the proximity of Yola International Airport, highlighting the center's potential to attract both local and international events, thereby boosting tourism and investment in the state.
Most interesting and heartwarming is the economic and commercial benefit which it will attract to the state's coffer, directly and otherwise. Going by the number and caliber of seminars, conferences, political confabs, dinners, lunches, reviews, graduation parties, workshops, awards, and other strategic get-togethers, which will be drawn to the center at its completion. Only the myopic will fail to see where all this will lead the state.
The Commissioner for Housing and Urban Development, Abdullahi Adamu Prambi, assured that the project will be completed within the stipulated time frame of 1 year, commended Governor Fintri for his vision and dedication to transforming the state capital into an economic hub.
Today also commemorate 6 years of Governor Ahmadu Umar Fintri's administration, which has been marked by remarkable progress and development. Your leadership has brought transformative changes to our state, and this conference center stands as a testament to your vision for a more prosperous Adamawa.
Once completed, the center will feature world-class amenities, including a 1,000-seat multi-purpose hall, a 360-capacity auditorium, a 100-seat seminar room, multiple syndicate rooms, administrative offices, restaurants and cafes, and a tea room, among others. Gibson Suadugo, Trust TV News, Yola.
Still in Adamawa, the state governor Ahmadu Umar Fintri has announced the allocation of $3 billion to address the gratuities of local government retirees. This announcement follows a commitment made by the governor less than 24 hours prior, in which he pledged $5 billion to settle the gratuities of retirees at the state level during a meeting with state labor leaders. During his address at the Boate 2025 International Cultural Festival and Development Foundation fundraising event at Mahmoud Ribadu Square in Yola, Governor Fintri indicated that the disbursement of these funds is scheduled to occur next month. The government also extended his congratulations to the Boate Nation for the successful hosting of the event, which was themed Culture and Development. He underscores the significance of the festival in promoting unity among the Boate people.
That our retirees, our aged parents, those who have invested to see for the development and peace and unity of this state, gets their benefit before they will die. And I have committed to ensure that all their benefits are paid between this year and this next year. For now, and in this month, I have committed 5 billion naira to ensure that the pensioners' benefit are paid. Equally now and here, I'm committing 3 billion naira for our local government pensioners.
Now in Borno, the Borno State Governor Babagana Zulum has urged the Northeast Development Commission to provide medium and long-term sustainable projects that will impact the lives of Borno people and boost infrastructural development. He made the remark during the handover of 13 projects to the state government. The projects include police stations and barracks in Bama and Kondega local governments, upgraded Borno State Central Medical Store, renovated and equipped eye and dental hospital, including ICT Center for agency mass literacy, among others. Governor Zulum commended the NEDC, saying the project complement his administration's 10-point agenda on security, health, education, livelihood, housing, among others, which are key to post-insurgency recovery plan. Meanwhile, the Minister of Regional Development, Megari Uba, hinted that it plans to establish a pharmaceutical company in the Northeast to save costs of importing drugs overseas.
While commending them, I also want to inform them that what we need henceforth is to have more projects that will have bearing in the lives of the people of Borno State. We want to move forward from providing shorter-term, non-sustainable solution to medium and long-term sustainable and durable solution to the government and people of Borno State. I think you have seen the 10 points agenda of Borno State, and you have seen our 25-year development plan. One of our key main priorities is security. I said it all. Secondly, we said about means of livelihood. We have spoken about reconstruction, rehabilitation, and settlement. You have seen building materials were provided for us so that we can construct more houses.
We went with you all to see the farmer grade drug facility, and in complementing that, we decided to invest in the construction of a pharmaceutical company so as to manufacture drugs. In the long term, it will save cost, because rather than go and import drugs, we will manufacture drugs probably in Maiduguri and replicate centers in the other states of the Northeast. That way we will save money from taking jobs abroad. We localize our activities here.
Now away from Nigeria, at least 6 people were killed and 15 others injured in a suspected drone strike by Sudan's Rapid Support Forces on a major hospital in Ubaid, the capital of North Kordofan. The attack severely damaged Ubaid International Hospital, Al-Dahman, forcing the suspension of services. A second hospital in the city was also reportedly hit. The area is a key military supply route for the army in its battle to retain control of El Fasher in Darfur. The strike comes amid a worsening health crisis. Sudan is battling a major cholera outbreak with thousands of new infections and dozens of deaths reported daily. And now in sports. As football enthusiasts across the globe are eager to watch the finals of the UEFA Champions League on Saturday, Trust TV sports correspondent Adeni Ajishafe reports match preview reactions from fans ahead of the finals. Take a look.
The journey of teams in the new UEFA League format for 2024-2025 UEFA Champions League season will come to an end when Italian giant Inter Milan and French league champions Paris Saint-Germain lock horns. Inter qualified, edging Barcelona in one of the most thrilling matches in history, while PSG made it at the expense of Arsenal, also in an explosive masterclass of football delivery. Both teams played with resilience and determination to reach the final. Football enthusiasts preview their expectations towards the season finale. Ebegwaza leans toward the Nerazzurris to win.
I'm here to give my support to Inter Milan about tomorrow match, Champions League between Inter Milan and PSG. I personally, I give my support to Inter Milan because I know they need a cup than PSG. That's also that they have won it before. They also need it. For that reason, I give it to Inter Milan for them to take the final tomorrow.
While others believe PSG will carry the day due to their current form.
PSG will win the Champions League because I follow PSG. I follow the Champions League from beginning. I give trust for the PSG because PSG, if they start the Champions League, they start with injury, but now they are back, fully back for their squad. It's not only Dembele for PSG. I believe with them because PSG is the one come out all the England team. So I give belief for PSG. PSG can do it. Inter can win the Champions League.
PSG fans, I want me PSG beat Inter Milan well. By God's grace. Thank you very much. Every player is in there. And every big player, when they go injury, still they don't come back. So now that kind of thing, I get high confidence that they will beat Inter Milan.
A neutral Marvelous Carlo believes both teams are capable of lifting the trophy.
As we all know, tomorrow is the finals between Champions League between Inter and PSG. But I don't really have a particular team I'm voting for or I'm running for. So I'm just neutral because both PSG and Inter are great teams. We both know them for their trophies and all their wins. So I don't really know which club to support tomorrow. But my main club is not actually any of them. I'm actually a Real Madrid fan. But when it comes to those teams, I know that they are good good things.
PSG are gunning for their first UCL title, while Inter Milan vies for their fourth, as both lights up the beautiful Allianz Arena in their fourth Champions League meeting to determine the winner in the inaugural league phase era. That's Sport News. I'm Adeni Ajishafe.
And with that, we have come to the end of News Hour on Trust TV. Do not forget to follow us and watch us across all our social media platforms for more news, programs, and documentaries. I am Fatima Ahmed Musa. Good night.